They say a mother's love is a bottomless well, but they forget that once a well is dry, all that's left is a dark, cold hole. My name is Diane Sterling. I spent 40 years scrubbing floors and working 3 jobs to put my twins Caleb and Mia through medical school. I skipped meals so they could have textbooks. I wore shoes with holes so they could wear designer scrubs. And how did they repay me? When I fell ill with a treatable kidney condition, they didn't see a mother in need of care. They saw a liquidation sale. They thought I was sedated. They thought the heavy dose of morphine they pumped into my IV had turned my brain into mush. But they were arrogant. They underestimated the sheer will of a woman who had survived a lifetime of poverty. I wasn't asleep. I was awake, paralyzed in my own bed, listening to my own children discuss which of my organs would fetch the highest price on the black market. Before I show you how I turned their surgical success into a lifetime behind bars, I have to ask, have you ever been treated like a tragedy? If you've ever been the family's walking ATM, hit the like button right now. Show my children that their victim has a million voices behind her. And if you want to see the ultimate hardcore justice, subscribe to Toon Stories. We don't just tell stories, we provide the reckoning. Now, listen closely, because the Sterling protocol I'm about to execute is the last thing my children will ever feel. The hospital room was freezing, the air smelling of ozone, the metallic tang of blood. I lay there, my eyes glued shut by a thick crust of exhaustion, but my ears were wide open. "The buyer is in the city, Mia," Caleb whispered. I heard the snap of a latex glove. "He's offering $500,000 for a clean liver lobe and a kidney. If we do the surgery here in the private wing tonight, no one will question the paperwork. We just list it as a complication from her existing condition." "But Caleb, she's our mother," Mia said. For a second, a spark of hope flared in my chest. Then she continued, "What if she dies on the table? The life insurance payout is only $200,000. We'd be losing $300,000 in potential revenue." My heart didn't just break, it shattered into 1,000 jagged shards. My daughter wasn't worried about my life. She was doing math. "She's 70, Mia," Caleb snapped. I heard him pouring a glass of water, my water. "She's lived her life. She's a burden. Think of the debt. Think of the Porsche you want. She'd want us to be happy, wouldn't she? Isn't that what she always said? I'd give my life for you kids?" "You're right," Mia sighed. I felt her cold, clinical hand on my forehead. "Let's prep the theater. Tell the transport team to be ready at midnight. Make sure the accidental overdose of anesthesia is ready. We don't want her waking up mid-harvest." They walked out, laughing about a vacation they were planning. I lay there, a tear escaping the corner of my eye. I had raised monsters in white coats, and they were coming for my very skin. They didn't know that 3 months ago I had started to suspect. I saw the way Caleb looked at my jewelry. I heard Mia talking to shady associates on the balcony. I had hidden a small, high-definition camera inside the teddy bear Mia had gifted me to look like a loving daughter. It was recording everything, the dialogue, the prep, the greed. And I had one more ally, my old friend Sarah, a retired nurse who knew the dark side of that hospital. As soon as they left to prep the theater, I used the hidden emergency button I had taped to the underside of my bed frame. Sarah appeared 10 minutes later, dressed as a janitor. "Diane, oh God," she whispered, looking at my vitals. "They've got you on a lethal drip." "Don't talk, Sarah." "Record," I rasped, the words feeling like glass in my throat. "I've already bypassed the hospital's main server. The video from the teddy bear is uploading to a private cloud. I want you to call the medical board, the FBI, and the local news. Tell them there's a live harvest happening in Wing B." "They'll kill you if they find out, Diane." "I'm already dead to them, Sarah," I said, my eyes burning with a fire they couldn't extinguish. Now I'm just the ghost that's going to haunt their medical licenses until they're nothing but a memory. The lights in the operating room were blinding. I was strapped down, the cold steel of the table biting into my back. Caleb and Mia stood over me, masked and anonymous, but I knew their eyes. "Time of incision, 12:15 a.m., Caleb announced to a room of 3 hired nurses who were just as crooked as he was. He picked up the scalpel. He brought the blade down toward my abdomen. "Stop," I said. The room went into a paralyzing silence. Caleb's hand froze midair. Mia gasped, nearly dropping a tray of instruments. Mother? Caleb stammered, his eyes wide with terror behind his mask. You're supposed to be under the anesthesia. I sat up. I ripped the sensors off my chest. I looked at my son, the man I had taught to walk, and I saw a coward. The anesthesia was a nice touch, Caleb, I said, my voice echoing in the sterile room. But I've always had a high tolerance for poison. I've been drinking the medicine you've been giving me for years. Mom, lie down. You're confused. Mia screamed, reaching for a sedative. I've never been clearer, Mia, I said, pointing to the red light on the teddy bear sitting on the supply cart. Look at the camera. Say hello to the FBI. They've been watching the last 40 minutes of your surgical prep in high definition. The doors to the OR didn't just open. They were kicked off their hinges. The SWAT team flooded the room. Caleb dropped the scalpel, the blade clattering on the floor. The same floor I used to scrub to pay for his tuition. Caleb Sterling? Mia Sterling? The officer shouted. You're under arrest for attempted murder, human trafficking, and aggravated elder abuse. I watched as they were forced to their knees. I watched the masks get ripped off their faces, revealing the raw, pathetic fear of two children who had finally run out of other people's lives to spend. I didn't stay for the trial. I didn't need to. The video went viral. The entire world saw the Sterling twins for what they were. They didn't just lose their licenses, they lost their humanity. They are serving life sentences in separate prisons. I hear Caleb is a favorite among the inmates who have mothers of their own. I sold the estate. I sold the cars. I took every cent of the Sterling fortune, and I built the Diane Sterling shelter for abandoned elders. It's a beautiful building. It has high ceilings, warm blankets, and the best security money can buy. I sit in the garden now, watching the sunset. I have a new family, the people I protect. My children wanted my heart. Well, they got it. It's a cold, hard stone that sits in the middle of their prison cells every night. Was I too hardcore? Or did I simply give my children the surgery they actually needed? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear your outrage. Subscribe to Toon Stories if you believe that some bonds are meant to be broken. Until next time, watch your back, because even your own blood can be a predator.